And you should be going.
Okay. Welcome back to session 26 of Oasis Valley Mysteries, set in the town of Redemption within the Oasis Valley. Beset by threats from below as well as above, our heroes have found themselves working together to protect their home from these threats, whether they be wild creatures from the superorganism, monsters of science unbound, or just simply violent, greedy humans. Previously, our heroes discovered a new threat had come to town, tracking down and killing those at Pluripotent tied to the now missing Dr. Porter. In fact, a shape-shifting reptile chimera, a homunculus tied to Tommy's amnesiac past. Stumbling upon and gradually befriending the local pack of werebeasts, you collected weapons of silver and hid the last remaining target away for her safety. Tracked to a lair beneath the city in an invasive subterranean swamp was the menace known as Carnivore. A creation of the dastardly simulacra, she was confronted and fought, eventually forced to flee in a bizarre demonstration of her genetic modifications. Freed from outside control, Carnivore has not reappeared since her escape. But now we return to the present, 2 weeks after the full moon, as a new threat surfaces. Night has fallen over the valley as clouds cover the sky, bringing a springtime rain to fall upon the desert. Lightning flashes on the horizon with thunder only a distant rumble. The streets are shiny, reflecting the lights in the display that the residents of the town rarely get to experience. In a neighborhood that has seen better days, on a street with several empty, rundown houses, far from the newly polished facade of Pluripotent's redemption, a man stands at the open doorway of a near condemned house, smoking a cigarette and listening to the rain. It was both the nicotine addiction and his nerves that caused him to smoke through a pack already today. A phone call earlier that evening letting him know he'd be stuck there a bit longer. His ride had been delayed until the following day. He hated coming back to Redemption, but he couldn't deny the pay was worth the risks, at least in his mind. Glancing back inside the main room, occupied by only a few bits of furniture, a rat chewed couch, and several musty chairs, but his eyes were drawn past toward the kitchen. Making sure it was never far from sight, he stared at the rectangular shape hidden beneath the moving blanket for several long moments before turning back to the night with another rumble of thunder as the rain began to intensify. So focused on his internal thoughts of thunderstorms growing up not far from where he was, he didn't hear the shuffling of fabric as the blanket was tugged to the floor. His back turned, he didn't see the now exposed glass case, easily mistaken for a sealed aquarium type container, if not for the shifting, shadowy mass within, hard to distinguish in the dim kitchen light. Lost among the patter of rain and the rolling thunder was the rapid tapping of something solid against the outside of the glass case, until there was a sudden cracking followed by a deep chuckle. From the kitchen, the clatter of a cupboard door suddenly shutting jolted the man harshly enough to drop his cigarette and spin around, hand going to the pistol tucked behind his belt. Wide-eyed, he stares in disbelief at the blanket on the ground, seeing how agitated the mass inside was as it roiled and pushed against the glass. He knew it was strong enough to hold the organism inside, only for a searing pain to ripple across his leg as if he'd stepped into a campfire. Shouting in pain, he looks down to see a blob of the dark, shifting mass engulfing his boot and sliding up his pant leg, where the burning pain was quickly spreading like liquid flame up his leg.
Oh,
Stomping and kicking his leg in vain hopes of dislodging the mass, he looks up when he hears a loud crack of glass. What seemed like a single crack was all that was needed as more blobs leak through, hitting the ground like angry tar before the glass panel shatters outwards, and the mass inside surges forward to hit the ground with a weighty thwack. The man was already scrambling for the door, but his leg was betraying him, the searing pain making it feel like his skin was melting off, making him stumble into a chair. The mass was ravenous, sliding across the dirty floor after him. Even as it crawled out into the gravel of the yard, empty of all but a few patches of dried up grass, the mass engulfs him, and by the time the pain and searing chemical attack forces his body to freeze up in agonized contortions, the rumble of thunder cuts off his strangled shouts even before the mass floods into his screaming mouth. The only answer to the dying man's scream was a deep, rasping chuckle from the empty house. Hanzo,
oh, oh boy!
you wake up as you get a phone call. You're asleep at home. You glance at the clock and it's like it's like maybe half an hour until sunrise. Like 5-ish in the morning.
Mhm. Nonetheless, he'll pick it up.
And unlike you were perhaps expecting your boss's voice over the line, and so might startle you when you hear Detective Bentley on the line going, Detective Hanzo, uh, sorry for calling you at home. And it takes you a moment to remember you had given him, some numbers he could reach you at. But he goes, sorry for calling so early. I didn't mean to wake you up, but uh, may need to. I'd like your input on something. Case just came out of crime scene, and I need your input.
All right. Give me 20 minutes.
Okay, and he gives you the address, and it's, uh, you know, by car, it's less than 10 minutes away. It's in one of the more rundown neighborhoods. Uh, After the boom and like burst of pluripotent, after the park was shut down and there were those incidences, a lot of people moved out. So it's one of those neighborhoods where it's been kind of left neglected.
All right.
Um, in the 2 weeks since since the last significant threat, work has been fairly uneventful. You've had to, at most, just go scare off some people. It was honestly teenagers looking for just some place that seemed to drink some beer, probably stolen, as they were like snooping around some of the gated areas of the museum. Um, you had to basically scare them off. You actually, you and Fred probably encountered each other at that, him being the night security. But
Which is how we first met.
yep, no chupacabras this time though.
Yeah, all I can imagine, how I like to imagine it is like he's trying not to let Fred know that there's a fucking chupacabra prowling the museum, and Fred's just there talking, getting his ear off, while he's just seeing something like lurking behind him, off in the
I think
shadows.
I think that's how he said it happened. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because
but
poor Fred, nobody ever talks to him, so it's like, it's real nice of to have someone
It's nice to
listen
have
to
some
you.
company on the shift, you know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, trying not to raise attention to the fact I think I just saw something move like 20 feet back.
so yeah, so it's up to you if like how excited you're now, or don't know if excited is the right word, but first time in a couple of weeks that you've even talked to Detective Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's calling you before, you know, even before Pluripotence reached out to you about something.
Hanzo is rarely ever happy, but at least he is intrigued by this. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't a day off, but it was a day that you could have slept in.
yeah. Yeah, he made sure to fucking pound some coffee.
Yep. So you get yourself ready and you head down. No messages on your car phone, although they would have just called your apartment. So you head out, drive over there. The rain has mostly stopped. There's a few patters of it when you drive, but by the time you get there, you see, like you look up, you can see the light. The sky is getting lighter as it's dawn's coming through the gaps in the clouds as it seems to storm is passing for now. You remember hearing on the news that there were probably going to be a few others, as it's just the springtime, rains coming in.
Mhm.
Which, per, uh, Oasis Valley is named that because of the river and the odd amount of uh, rainstorms that it gets throughout the year, despite being in the middle of a desert. Gave it its name, leading to how unusually lush it is. But
Yeah, this seems like a fine place to set up a town. Everybody, just
and,
ignore the giant meat monster.
and look, the mountains are full of silver. Hot damn!
Yeah,
Just don't go
There's
too deep.
silver in them there hills.
and meat, so much
There's
meat.
there's eyes in them there hills.
Yep,
There's meat in them there hills.
Oh god.
the
Okay,
hills have
before we start
eyes.
offending people.
And meat.
The hills have eyes.
So, you following the directions. Sure enough, you see the red and blue lights of police cruisers and an ambulance as you pull up. As you pull up in like a regular cop and uniform comes up, to stop you, but a voice calls out, going, "No, he's fine. I'm through." As you see Detective Bentley wave you over. He's like standing
Coffee in
with an
one
umbrella.
hand, coffee in one hand, his other hand rubbing the bridge of his nose and his eyes.
Yeah, you look
what's
about
up,
how I
Detective
feel.
Bentley?
Yeah, sorry about waking you up so early, but and he kind of gestures over because I should have described the scene a little bit more. You're in a neighborhood street. You see a couple, multiple of the houses have, for sale signs on, in their yards, or even one that's been like boarded shut, clearly condemned. But he gestures to one of the front yards, and with the lights set up, you see you you're seeing enough bodies to recognize the shape of a body beneath a tarp, probably to keep the rain off of it. And he goes, uh figured I'd get your input on whether or not I should call for a potent and save you some time. Honestly, I better hope and he kind of like looks around, not no one's even really paying attention. And then he goes, "Honestly, you're so much easier to work with than Agent Wakefield." Anyways, and he goes over, and it's not hard to notice that maybe like 2, 3 houses down, there is another cluster of officers, and you see like paramedics just kind of milling about where it seems that there is another perhaps body just from has the same setup as here. He goes, we'll get to that one, but he crouches down and lifts up the tarp, and it is a gruesome sight. You see what is mostly what it remains is mostly a skeleton with bits of muscle and flesh still attached to it, gristle. It This looks like someone that has been just stripped down to the bone. All soft tissue is gone. It's just gristle and bone, and just he makes a grimacing face and he goes, "I haven't seen a body like that since someone fell in a chemical plant, and or since And he goes, I've only seen something like that where it was like a photo of someone some poor poor asshole who fell into a chemical vat and they fished him out.
Yes, in lieu of any giant vats that happen to be lying around, I'd hazard a guess this is not a natural killing.
No, especially since he drops the tarp, he gestures of, there's another victim, it seems, someone who is maybe out at the same time. Actually, that was one of the reasons why I called you. And he gestures to you to follow him over. Both of them have IDs. That was let me gestures to the body, and he goes, Samuel Thompson, 26, grew up here in Redemption, but lives in California. And you would have seen that there was like tattered remains of clothing, like just torn apart, and even just glancing at it, it looked like some of it had melted. But he goes and then he gestures to the body as you're walking up. Goes, this is Leah Davison, 82 years old, vampire, and he's like looking at his notes. Well, guessing vampire just from her. I know he goes, found her ID, so she's works for Pluripotent.
The other victim doesn't, right?
No, that's the thing. Still checking up, but yeah, his ID says lives in California, but he had a like a student ID card from like the high school. He gestures vaguely in the direction of the main high school for Redemption, which I need to come up with a proper name sometime.
Yeah, Oasis Valley, high school.
Yeah.
What have you.
Yeah. When Olivia went to, probably.
He said he lives in California.
Yeah, that's what his ID says.
Know if this house belongs to him?
No, this house has been empty. We checked, and we're guessing it started in this. What is he? He gestures back to where Samuel is, but as you get to the, people step back and he lifts up the tarp, and it's a very similar scene, but you can see why they were able to pick that she was a vampire because there are the pair of very distinct sharpened fangs.
I mean, I have fangs. Doesn't make me a vampire.
You know what I mean. But there's something, and and he holds up like an evidence bag, and there's like a little ID card.
So
Some of
have
the
you found any
or showing evidence to some rando.
So have you found any like residue?
No, that's the weird thing. Nothing significant, but maybe the rain. It had been raining for a good time before these were found.
True, could have
Maybe it got washed
away.
Yeah, but we're gonna send them down to the coroner's office. Maybe Guerrero can figure something out, or maybe even people at Pluripotent.
Yeah.
But there was another reason why I wanted your input. They lead you back to the house where there was the door open and there's like police tape as he bends down to go under it, letting you in. And there is you see like an evidence marker on the floor as he points. He goes, found a handgun right there. No rounds discharged. Full clip and everything. But he leads you to the kitchen, and you see a container which you've seen similar, but it's not like one-to-one. This looks more handmade, but you've seen similar containers for pluripotent uses in transporting, you know, living samples from the superorganism, be it endofauna or like pieces harvested from the superorganism. You get the sense that this is very clearly like a isolated environment container. You wouldn't even have to roll for that. This looks like jury rigged, trying to copy that design.
All right, with that information, he's gonna look to Bentley. What do you see?
Goes, well, I see a fish tank that's built to be like a safe, but the glass broken, it seems, from the outside or from the inside out as he gestures to the glass on the ground. So maybe it wasn't completely built to snuff for whatever it's containing.
Yeah. Obviously, it was a DIY, but that's the same kind of stuff they use to transport hazardous materials or endofauna.
Yeah, that was my guess too, and why I wanted you to take a look at this, just to confirm things. But like, you can see how tough that is. Look at that, and he points to the glass, and it's not like shattered. It's like in three big pieces that broke out, like 3 or 4 big pieces that broke out. He goes, like it broke at the seams. Really, just something must have cracked it. Must have cracked, found the fault, and just all fell out.
Mm-hmm. Well, considering, well,
And he
looking,
kind of glance. Sorry, go ahead.
well, considering the state of the bodies, it was mostly soft tissues that were, well, I'm just gonna say eaten.
Makes a face.
So, I don't imagine. It's possible, but I don't exactly like the idea of just a big blob of digestive tissue just slithering around.
Oh, that's. Well, you work for Pluripotent, so I'm just going to assume that's a possible thing. That's awful.
I have no clue myself. I don't go down in the superorganism, but I know people who do. I'll ask them.
Yeah, we've never been down there.
Yeah, that is kind of. He seems queasy at the thought, but he like takes a breath to steady himself, and then just. I don't know. This is gonna be
Yeah, because obviously what we're dealing with is no human killer.
You know how difficult it is to fill out paperwork for stuff that doesn't, show up enough to qualify paperwork.
Yep, I get it. I'll ask my people about this. Of course, I'm gonna call this in, get some pluripotent examiners down here.
Yeah, just let us get the bodies to the morgue first, so we have jurisdiction on that at least.
Of course.
They want to deal with the bodies, they got to deal with the courts then.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling it in.
Yeah, honestly, if I had called your coworker, kind of does air quotes, I get the feeling that we would have been politely told that to mind our own fucking business and excuse ourselves so they can take over.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah. Believe me, Detective Bentley, We'll get to the bottom of this. I'm not exactly enthused by the idea of just stomach acid roiling around, but I also know that I don't know a damn thing about what lives underneath this town, so can't rule out anything.
Of course. Excuse me. But he kind of glances around, and most of the cops have given you space as he's been walking around talking to you. He goes, why don't you just give the place a once over, see if you spot anything we might have missed? And he
Absolutely.
steps back out into the rain, opens up his umbrella.
Time to investigate a mystery.
Indeed. And it is, it's not like raining super hard, but it's just, you get the sense he doesn't like the rain.
And actually, before he goes, Detective Bentley, since you pointed out the high school down the ways, can you remind me? It's frankly been a while, and I know it's probably been a while for you, but trying to think, just seeing how much the rain is coming down. If we are dealing with some kind of highly acidic organism, how it would react to all this rain.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm not much of a science guy. But what do you think all this rain coming down might do to something that's just made of pure acid? You think that would dilute it?
Possibly, although might have gone into hiding then.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but it's been raining pretty much all night. So have your boys just keep a sharp eye out for any dark hiding spot that might be dry.
Kind of glances out at the neighborhood, and he goes, "Well, I was just thinking it was a good thing the rain was stopping. All right." As you can see the gaps in the clouds, it's like not even raining; it's more just sprinkling. By this point, the last gasps of the clouds. But as he's walking out, he goes, "What are you doing? Put the tarp back down. Vampire remains. Do you want to start a fire? Jeez."
Learn something new. Apparently, bones are still combustible.
Apparently.
There's still meat on those bones. Not a lot. But...
Right. That's true. So yeah, I rolled the 10 to investigate a mystery.
Ooh. So that's a hold of 2. So you can do what happened here, what sort of creature is it, what can it do, what can hurt it, where did it go, what was it going to do, what is being concealed here.
I'll ask what is first. I'll ask what is being concealed here.
What is being concealed here? Okay. You start looking around the kitchen, and you see, you look at the glass, it's just kind of laying on the ground with the little evidence markers next to it. You glance around, this really seems like this place was abandoned. There's like some graffiti on the walls, but there's still power. You like pick up the phone, there's a dial tone, but it's like one of the wall phones with the cord. But there's a dial tone, and there's lights on, so there's power. There's, you open up the fridge, and there's like a bag, like a takeout bag for like the local burger place. But pretty much empty. And you're just looking around, but when you step out into the living room, geez, I don't know why I blanked on that word. The you're like kind of glancing on you know it's dusty in here, but then you see one of the chairs, you know, that's between the kitchen and the front door. You realize that there's scuff marks in the dirt, you know, like the dust of the floor. As you realize that the chair had been shifted, you know, like likely as the guy fled. The you would guess, just judging from the footprints and you know through the dust as well. Well, there have been a lot of cops through here, so it's not really that easy to see. But you would guess that maybe this guy had stumbled into it as he fled. And you look under, and there is a little folded piece of paper.
Hello.
And you pull it out. It's like receipt size. It looks like maybe just written on a little notepad, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, you know, pick up. It was like pickup date, and it was dated for yesterday. It goes, you know, pickup date around 5 o'clock. Be ready to transport. And it goes, and it's signed with like a just V. Oh, it goes you know, pick up at 5 o'clock ish. If change in plans, we'll call. But
Curious, he's got a good. You said there was a phone plugged in, right?
Yep.
First,
There was
he's
a
going
dial
to
code.
check that if there was any voicemail, I guess.
No voice, no you know, message machine, voicemail.
Yeah,
Nothing like
that was
that.
worth a
And
shot.
at this point, I don't
Yeah.
think *69 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where you could dial the last number and call it back, right?
Let me
I
check.
think. I
I'm asking
wouldn't
the
know
other
myself.
90s and 80s kids.
I've never used it, so I don't know.
Okay. Hmm?
Well, in that case, the second place he would go to is to find Bentley again.
Okay, you still have a hold. You still have another question.
Yeah. I'm just saying that aloud for myself.
Oh, okay.
With that second hold. Sorry, I'm trying to find that
What
again.
happened here?
Okay.
What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those might be a little harder to justify what you can learn.
Yeah. Because I don't know what sort of creature it is yet, but obviously it broke out of the containment and was able to dissolve a man and then a vampire pretty easily.
I can't find an exact date. It's just in the 90s.
Yeah. So,
it would be hard to figure out where it went because rain washing away any tracks or sludge it might have left. See what it can do.
Can't really guess what it was going to do. Yeah, like I said, some of these questions are going to. So, you can do what happened here, unless you want to do a hold. You can keep that for keep that hold for other stuff.
I'll hold on to that for now.
Okay.
1992.
Oh shit. So,
But
It
he'll
was a
flag
paid
down
for
now.
service at that point, though.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, you could try it.
Yeah, he'll go and find Bentley again and present the
Okay.
note.
Okay. And Bentley's, they're starting to load up get the bodies ready to load up into the ambulances before the sun rises and incinerates part of the, remains of
Evidence.
one. Yeah. So Bentley, turns as you approach. He goes, "That was quick. Find something already?"
Yeah. Confirmed what I was suspecting, that someone came back home to make an illicit trade.
And you show him the note.
Yeah, he'll hand it over.
All right. And he's wearing gloves. And he takes it and goes, "Make sure dust this for prints." It was obviously written for, a victim there. V. All right. As he, takes out an evidence bag, balancing, his umbrella, and he puts it away. Oh, thank you, Agent Hanzo. That was very well done.
Sometimes you need a new pair of eyes to see what's right in front of you.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to keep you in the loop if anything turns up.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna report this in now.
Yeah. And he almost starts to turn away, but then he stops and turns back, and he, if you'll allow, he'll shake your hand and then leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll reciprocate.
You are two professionals. He's a dirty cop, but what are you gonna do? He's not like an actual corrupt cop. I don't mean that. He's just
damn dirty cop. Get your mitts off me.
He's just physically very filthy. Like pig pen.
Yeah, my mitts are not exactly squeaky clean either. I'm effectively just a corpo cop.
Yeah, that's what. You're two professionals.
Yep. But yeah, he'll go up to his phone, ring up who would be appropriate to call in for. I'm not sure if his boss would be awake at his hour just yet.
Okay, so yeah, you call in, and yeah, McLean's not into the office yet, but you do call it in through the proper channels. I really need a here. Yeah, okay, I'll just say you call it in, and they're like, "All right, we'll make sure to send the correct, appropriate specialist to investigate the area, and Director McLean will get this as soon as he comes in."
I should clarify, the police have taken the bodies. You'll have to cooperate with them to examine them. You know how much of a stickler they are for protocol.
Of course. Unfortunate, but predictable. All right. Thank you, Agent Hanzo. I'll take it from here. And guys, make sure you keep your schedule up, and I'm sure Director McLean will want you to take head of this.
We'll see about that.
And, they hang up. So, and by this point, sunrise comes as you're sitting in your car. Your coffee's perhaps a bit colder than you want, but the rays of sunlight is actually kind of pretty, seeing them shine through the gaps in the clouds. There actually is, it might be a little bleak, but as you're sitting in your car, you start driving off, you do see, a rainbow starting to form thanks to the, the rain and the sun coming up.
Yep. Rain or shine, world has to keep turning.
Yep. Speaking of, Winifred.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
You and Fred have been, actually, both of you. What have the two of you been doing since, you two basically night owls, one by biology, the other one by economic necessity?
Yep.
What have the two of you been doing since the 2 weeks?
Well, Winifred went out and found 2 shitty motorcycles, and she's either been helping or showing Fred how to fix them up and get them running. and paint them and stuff, depending on how much of a mechanic dad that he is.
So I feel like Fred actually probably is pretty good with machinery. Like not enough to do it professionally, but like he's got a shitty car that he keeps running. So like he's probably really good at like learning on his feet with like user manuals and whatnot. And picks up on the uptake pretty well. So like he probably had to like, be taught a lot at first, but he's probably not that bad at it. One of the rare times I'll give Fred credit for basic competence.
He's able to take care of his stuff.
Yeah.
But, by necessity, he has to make everything last as long as it can, because he's poor. So yeah, like Fred loves it because man, I've got a thing to do now outside of, cooking meals and doing the laundry and going to work. So this is great. Got a little project.
Yeah, she figured it was a bonding project, and also she really wanted a fucking motorcycle after all that motorcycle shit.
And there was also, very easy to find the parts you need. You're pretty much friends now with the scrapyard owner. They're the ones who pick up the wrecks, so it'd be pretty easy to find parts. You also, depending on how, if you want to involve others, you do know specifically a bike mechanic in the form of Itzel the vampire, who used to be a Hell's Coyote before, they were falling out and she got scapegoated.
I figured that Winifred would invite her over for one of Fred's shitty movie nights.
Oh yeah, she'd appreciate that. She'd enjoy it. You get the sense she doesn't really hang out much with people, and she seems to be enjoying, the occasional interaction with the group.
Yeah, so that's what Winifred's just been doing. She's just been getting to know Fred, this weirdo that she's letting in her house.
Yeah, and in like terms of like RPG reputation, meters, your group did a very big, bump in the positive for her and helping get revenge on, the people who fucked her over and sent her to jail for several years.
Yeah. And also, Fred brings home the weirdest movies.
I do.
And so I think this morning, it's been raining. Probably nice, keeps the cool while you've been working. But Winifred, you went inside to, I don't know, maybe wash your hands or something as Fred's tidying up in the garage. It's getting dawn, so but you get a phone call. Your phone rings in the kitchen.
She'll go pick it up and hey.
And you hear a younger voice, feminine, go, "Oh, hello, is this?" And she says your address.
Yeah. Can I help you?
Is Fred there?
She's gonna pull the phone away briefly and look at it like, what? And go, yeah, he's here. Just give me a second.
Okay.
And, she'll do that thing where you did in the 90s and put the receiver on the counter and then scream for Fred.
What is it? We got a monster case?
I don't know, you got a phone call.
No, that's less fun. Hello, Fred Klutzman speaking.
Less fun, Dad? Really? As you hear the voice of your daughter.
Oh my gosh! Hey! Sorry, I'm used to it being tax collectors.
Oh no, you're fine, Dad. It's okay. So you're living with the woman now. That's cool.
Yeah, don't read into it. How are you? How's school?
Oh, good. Gotta be leaving for it soon. Because they live further east, so it's they would have got
Mm-hmm.
it would be later for them. As you realize, she's probably calling before going to school. She goes, yeah, we just wanted to call, and you hear a voice go, is it Dad? Is Dad there? As you hear your son.
Is that Alex?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Here, but let him say hi first, and then and you hear like the shuffling of the phone being passed, and she goes, "Cut it out, nerd. Just, here, take it." And
Alex,
hey, Dad.
have you found any new Japanimation to watch?
Oh yes. Yeah. But I won't.
What year is it?
It was it's going to be a surprise. When we come and you hear Tiffany go, shh, shh, all right, fine, tell him. And he's like, oh yeah, oh, yeah. Mom told us to call and say that because she's going on a cruise with and he like trails off. She's going on, and you hear like Tiffany just like, just give me the phone, please, give me the phone. It's like, no, I want to talk to Dad. And
Oh, these are so
And-
cute.
Mom says that in a couple of weeks we're gonna come stay with you for a while, okay?
Whoa. Yeah, that'd be great. I think we've got some places that, yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Sweet.
Anything you want me to have when you come over?
Uh oh, we'll make a list. And Tiffany's just like, come on, let me talk to Dad. We gotta go soon. And he's like, okay, fine. Okay, talk to you later, Dad. Miss you.
Yep. See ya, Alex. I got this one. I found one. It's called Akira. I think that'll be a good one to watch.
Oh god.
Oh
It's got like
no.
motorcyclists.
Oh god.
Oh
Oh,
no.
And he goes, okay, here's Tiff, and hands the phone over. And she goes, he didn't know you were on speaker. You hear the sound like quality shift as she goes, okay, yeah, I was going to be a little more tactful than that, but yeah, mom's hoping that a couple of weeks you might be able to keep us for a week or two.
Yeah, that'd be great. I could show you could see all the sights down here. There's this really good Greasy Spoon Diner. It's got all these animatronics, and we have a great time.
Oh, Alex would love that. Alex has been really getting really into learning about the superorganism too.
Yeah, I got some friends who work at the big biological preserve. We could probably do a tour.
Oh.
That sounds great. Gotta get going, but we gotta talk. Akira is not good for him. I've already watched it with some friends. Sorry, I know we like to watch them together, but
Oh,
that
shit. Well, that's okay. I got some
he'll
others. I
love
got
it.
this one
He'll
called
love it, but it is something that responsible people shouldn't let kids his age watch. Although I know he will love it.
Okay, that's fine. I got this other one called Appleseed, and let's see, Demon City. You know what? I'm gonna probably rule that one out on the title.
That's me, the DM, going no.
I've heard of that one. Whoa.
So she goes, well, yeah, we'll talk about that, Dad, and I hope your roommate's okay with us coming by.
I'm sure she'll be fine. I'll I'll do an ask, and if not, it can't be too hard to find another place. Yeah, we'll be all right.
Okay, well, talk to you later, Dad.
All right, bye. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, and she hangs up. The phone clicks.
And for just a nice sweet moment, he just smiles at the thought of getting to see his kids. Hasn't happened in a while. Winifred.
Hey?
Uh, so I've got sort of a big ask, and I realize that I'm already sort of squatting in your place. Um, so not really my place to make it, but the ex-wife wants me to look after the kids for a couple of weeks. She's probably going on like a business trip or something. And since I don't have a place of my own anymore, I gotta ask, if that would be all right. And if not, that's fine. I can find another place probably in 2 weeks that we could that would have an extra room. Um, or maybe find like a hotel room or something.
Man, Fred, there are 2 untouched bedrooms upstairs. Just clean them out and you're good to go.
Winifred, you're the greatest.
Don't.
Also, I'm gonna try to shoot this in the foot, but the daughter is already reading a romantic subtext into this that is clearly not there. Because the kids, the kids do want me to sort of get back into a dating game a little bit, and I think they're a little they're kind of grasping at whatever straws they can find there. So
Don't
we might
worry.
have to nip that in the bud repeatedly, is what I'm saying.
I'll kill it immediately. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're just gonna crush those dreams immediately.
Just don't kill the kids.
Call your lesbian friend.
I will.
All right, so okay. Now I gotta think. Okay, so we probably shouldn't do Demon City just because the name. Can't do Akira, which is a shame. It's got motorcyclists. That seems like it's cool. Appleseed's got like a weird, like one-eyed guy on it. I'm not sure about this one. It says Castle in the Sky, but like the girl's skirt is really short.
Oh god.
You should probably start with that one, actually.
You sure?
Yeah.
I got one called Robot Carnival. That sounds like it'd be fun. Bunch of robots doing a carnival.
No. I don't think that's how it actually is. This probably is the safest one right here.
I guess Castle in the Sky it is.
And
I've
Winifred
got
just
these
kind
ones-
of behind his back as he turns away. She's like, "Oh my god."
And Dragon Ball, Sleeping Princess, and Devil's Castle.
Oh
I'm
no.
sure about that. Like, is the ball a testicle or is it just like an orb?
So, moving on.
You're gonna pick up every horrible fucking anime that would scar
I-
the shit out of a child.
I literally just
were
put
so many
80s
movies.
anime into a Google search and then just started looking like, which one of these would be the worst choices to show like a preteen?
There's so many choices.
God damn.
God. Okay. So days cracked. Tommy.
Yes.
Probably been a little uncomfortable during the rain, even though your setup. Whoever had set this up before your little platform home that you've got set up at at one of the entrances of the drainage system. Despite the heavy rain through the night and like the last day or so, it never came anywhere close to becoming a problem for the platform. It seems whoever had built this knew he, was experienced enough to judge, or maybe just through trial and error of like getting flooded, eventually rose it to a height where it no longer was a problem. So, depending on if you were fine staying there, it's probably honestly kind of cozy and might even help you sleep, hearing the rain and the it's like sleeping next to a river, the babbling brook or whatever. But or you could probably go hide out in Carlos's animatronics, the ride.
Nah, he would have stayed where he had set up shop because I imagine rain in Arizona makes it feel better.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be. It hadn't started getting. It was still springtime, so it's not like getting hot at night yet. But this would definitely make it very cool at night, and more humid than than it had been since you've been here. This was the first rain since you've been here for the month or so that you've been in town.
Only been a month?
Yeah, because it was 4 arcs. Each one was roughly about a week. Or there was because I was tracking the moon leading up to the last arc.
And then it's been 2
It's
weeks
been-
since then.
Yep. So we're like, let's see, March. It's like mid-April.
Wow.
Mid-April in the 90s.
April
Disgusting.
showers.
I'm
Green
scared.
colonists.
I'm scared what flowers bloom in the superorganism.
You do know. Shit, that was actually something. Hanzo, rewind a bit. Heck.
Oh,
I
jeez.
bet you're wondering how we got here.
No, Hanzo. So, as you were driving off, and the sunrise, started cresting, you like start driving off, and you see where the bodies were in these like empty gravel yards that just had like dead grass and weeds, because they had all dried up and just died. But as the sunrise came, you see flowers, like wildflowers, start to bloom, and they are that very familiar blood red of the sanguine aster, the flower that grows within the superorganism. That was a detail I very specifically needed to add, but I forgot. So thank you, someone saying something about flowers. So there we go. Back to
our regular.
And you said they were growing next to the bodies, or it's just they're
around where the bodies were. Yes.
Yeah, he probably has that realization as he's driving off. It's like,
Which,
flowers.
The last time you saw them growing on the surface was actually the very first arc where you found the crashed car, where contained, blood organism were spilled. You would assume that they were, you knew they were basically like food supplies for the captured chupacabras.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that you only realize the significance of 20 minutes after the fact when you're 3 miles away.
Yeah, and you've seen this fairly recently too, growing down in the cistern swamp.
See,
It grows
I wanted to
pretty
know something
pretty
about
well
Tommy.
down there.
I wonder if Tommy's had any more run-ins with his nemesis.
Actually, Tommy, I was going to get to that.
Mhm.
So because you've been, damn it, DZ, you guessed it. So Tommy.
Yeah.
As it was the night, you were probably like maybe just chilling, listening to the rain, but you did hear splashing.
Mhm.
Coming up the way. So you were prepared when you see a black and white scaled snoot just slip over the edge of the platform, fork tongue flicking out before you see the head of the lizard pop over, spot you staring at it, and then it just ducks away and you hear the splashing of it fleeing.
Go on, get. Can't have shit in Detroit.
Tommy's probably been in Detroit.
Oh, most likely.
Oh my god.
There's an entirely different horror sleeping underneath Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit would be a great location for a Monster of the Week game.
It's the bloated corpse of Henry Ford.
The old Motor City.
Slowly becoming its own superorganism.
It's the horned serpent.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's not made of it's not made of meat, but metal.
You have to make a dagger out of Fordite to kill him.
I'll run it only if I can do a trial session in Gary, Indiana.
Oh my god.
The only thing about Indiana I know is Erie, Indiana, that TV show.
Yeah, I just thought of that too. It was like, oh my god, that was a strange memory.
Anyone remember So Weird?
Yeah.
We don't have time for me to go into the tangent of the rise and fall of what once was Gary, Indiana. We'd be here for the rest of the night.
All right. Yeah, I'm bad at tangents enough already.
Yeah.
So, who were we? Oh yeah, Tommy. So
Yeah.
morning comes. You made sure your food was secured, but it seemed that it didn't want to risk, upsetting you because it knows you are, you know,
A
doesn't.
predator.
Yeah, it kind of you get the sense that it does seem to know that you are a predator, but it is still a tricky little scavenger trying to get the delicious stuff that you hoard. It seems to have a taste for jerky and candy bars.
My jerky.
Processed foods.
My ranch.
Oh.
No,
Doesn't
never
touch
never
the ranch.
ranch.
Yeah, the ranch is safe. It does like Cool Ranch Doritos though.
Dear God.
So, you wake up.
Hmm.
What's a day for Tommy like? The rain's pretty much stopped, but there's still like a flow of water filtering into the drainage system. You're gonna have to, probably wade through a bit to get to where you can climb out of the little wash area.
Yeah.
Probably the
Honest-
drawback of being down there, but it's
Listen, we're in Arizona. This is like a once in every 3 months experience. Let's be honest
Oh,
here.
let's be honest. If you're lucky, that's once in 3 months.
Yeah, but we're in redemption. We're special. We get rain.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's like
otherwise, how does the superorganism get sippies?
it's like I'm projecting or something.
Hopefully, it
living
doesn't rain too
vicariously.
much. And
It's weird when the rain is weirder than the superorganism.
actually, come to think of it, I sincerely hope it doesn't flood too much because that led to the incident.
Oh yeah, well that's what happens when you force the thing to hold its mouth open up to the sky like a turkey.
Hmm.
But yeah, pluripotent they left the mouth in the mountain, then built stuff up over it so keep stuff out and keep stuff in.
Where's my water?
But
I need sippies.
so what's the Tommy morning like?
I imagine Tommy spent the past couple weeks just going through the sewers and drainage pipes of redemption. That way, if anything else happens like this, he'll get a better idea of where to go, where something could hide, and whatnot.
Keeping an eye out for carnivore.
Yeah, just like patrolling his turf and whatnot.
Yeah, no sign of her, but you do occasionally encounter. He doesn't like leave his post, air quotes, but you have like gone and seen Thundar once or twice when you've been down there and like got to the swamp area.
Okay, good. Yeah, making a friendship with him, sharing some food. whatnot.
Yeah, he. If you bring him food, he'll be amused by how small it is. Like human portions are. He goes, like he has an entire bag of jerky as like not even a mouthful. It's just like this fills you up. You're small.
Dainty.
Yeah.
But if you do bring him other stuff from like Carlos's diner,
Mhm.
he'd even be happy if you brought him like a cow head from like the butcher shop. What's the term? The Carciera? Where the Mexican shops where you can get the the really good butcher cuts.
Just
He'd
imagine
really
the butcher's
appreciate
like,
that.
"Ooh, Terry,
yeah,
did you
butcher
adopt
cut.
a fucking? Did you fuck a fucking gator or something?"
Something like that.
Butcher cuts are cheaper because they're not as they're not as desired pieces of meat.
Yeah, and it's locally sourced because there's a big rancher, a lot of cows in Redemption. So
Less so after the chupacabra.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of lucky there is so many livestock because there would be a lot more deaths to the occasional chupacabra if there wasn't so much easier just livestock meandering around.
That scans.
It was just having so many of them released at once in the first arc was kind of a problem.
We salute you, cows
And sheep,
and sheep.
goats.
The noble
Um,
livestock it suffers for, in our
Yeah.
stead.
So, Tommy,
Mhm.
breakfast at Carlos or something?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Go somewhere dry.
Interesting that we have Tommy as our friend, but he still chooses to sleep in the sewers.
Hey, no address means no taxes.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
no taxes and no door-to-door people.
That's true. Wow, I want to live in the sewers.
To be fair, no
Off the grid.
income also means no taxes.
Oh god, I can imagine Tommy as that one flip from what was it? Whoever hates the world, Dave hates the world or whatever. It's like, hello, I'm a supermodel who just moved in next door. I don't care who the IRS sends. I'm not paying my taxes.
Dan versus.
Man versus, yeah.
You ain't getting shit out of me.
I'm not even a
Um,
legal citizen. What was that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
So Tommy, you go into the Greasy Spoon Diner. Carlos, you up and working? The morning rush.
Probably, yeah. Since we had the time skip, he's probably been doing this for a couple of days now, just getting up in the morning, helping out Ben.
Yeah. And, your employees, they don't complain about you, but they do seem appreciative. It's like, okay, the boss is, carrying his weight again. He isn't running off with his weird friends.
Oh, they jinxed it. They jinxed it and started an arc.
Yep.
Yeah, they had 2 good weeks of having that boss actually be there.
And
I mean,
yet,
Carlos is always out. You guys are always there. Sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, to give it some credit, like, timeline-wise, there's just every couple of weeks or so, the boss just goes off with his crazy friends doing who knows the fuck what, and then he comes back and doubles down so no one complains. He's allowed to have this weird little mini
And he shows up with
escapades.
like bandaged wounds and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure like the week after the previous arc is like, so boss, what'd you get up to this time? Nothing. And then another
Nothing.
week by, it's like, anything happened this time, boss? Still here.
What is that, Shady?
Shady was just joining in on the fun.
yeah, it was just a GIF or
Ah.
GIF.
So,
A GIF. A GIF.
a GIF.
A GIF.
No, that's worse.
I know it
GIF
is.
is
That's
the
why I said it.
scientifically accurate pronunciation of that word.
Yep. So,
I can't believe I need to kill TT and Shady.
You did.
I'm sorry, but they did genetic taxonomy of it, and they found out it should be pronounced "yif."
So, Tommy,
Yes.
you walk in. Carlos is hard at work. You can order your breakfast. What have the two of you, doesn't have to be together, but what have the two of you been up to for the last 2 weeks? Oh yeah, Tommy, you already said you were scouting out the sewers and stuff.
Carlos has been working the diner and being a business owner and community member of Oasis Valley.
Excellent.
You can't see the smile from the microphone, but I'm doing one of those big cheesy corporate smiles with like the parentheses back text. He's been doing weird shit.
Local businessman makes a commercial smile.
Oh my god, we have to have an arc where we make him a commercial.
We do not need to have an
And we
argument
just
about making a
accidentally create
commercial.
Jackass a few years early.
Oh no.
No.
So the so you get your breakfast. You know, typical morning rush. Vampires getting ready to go to bed. Getting on meal before bed. People getting up to go to work. That kind of thing. But yeah. Anything the two of you want to talk about, or?
We're still doing better in the mornings than we are with the vampire place across the way because I can cover both vampire and human markets. And I know they've been trying to get my breakfast market, but they haven't got it yet. And this is the conversation Carlos is having with Tommy at whatever hour in the morning this is.
Yeah, the Bad Moon Diner.
Bad Moon's trying to get human food again, but none of them can cook for shit, and I'm lucky so far.
Yeah, they're trash and it's just like slop. Like that's the scientific term for it. It just can become a mush.
Oh my god. You guys are like recreating Big Top Burger and Cesare Burger.
Oh no.
Tommy does have the energy of the main guy, just being a weird little dude.
Tommy, they put the empty vials of new blood. That's not normal food. You're not supposed to eat that. I told you can come in and get breakfast.
I don't eat it. I just was curious to see what the fuck they're doing over there.
Mad science.
Like, I can imagine now. It's just Tommy dressed up as a little boy. Hello, Mrs. Clove. Do you have some soup?
God.
Hello. He shrinks small and he winks at her sister.
Look, I already have to pay the night waitress $2 more an hour to cover the fact that she's had to fight off people trying to steal my night chef.
Sorry, Hanzo, help! I smoked this peyote.
Hanzo, I smoked this jewel, and it did unspeakable things to my body.
Oh god. Okay, sorry.
That went places.
Yeah. So, speaking of Hanzo, if you want, you can show up because you're awake now and you probably want to get something to eat, and this might be something you want to tell your friends.
Maybe.
You haven't heard back from the boss yet.
Mm-hmm.
Does
He'll just come in.
Oh, morning, Hanzo. Do you want a table with Tommy, or are you gonna get your own spot?
Why not? You go over and sit with Tommy.
What's up?
See anything weird lately?
No. Well, aside from rain here, that's very weird.
Yeah.
Well, keep an eye out.
Yeah. Everything's been quiet down there.
Well, that might change soon.
Oh, God.
With all this rain, something may have slipped into the sewers.
You know?
Sewer man? A sewer man? Telling me there was a sewer man?
No.
You're a nasty little sewage boy, ain't you?
God.
Yeah, that's Tommy.
Who else but Tommy?
I'm sorry. Just the casual. You're just a nasty little sewage boy, aren't you?
Fucking hell!
I mean, that's how I reacted the first time I heard that line when I watched that.
Tommy Tommy is he is now the sewer cryptid.
He's the trash man.
He is the man in the storm drain.
Oh my god, Shady.
Yeah.
They're gonna do cryptid. They think there's a were raccoon, but it's the were thylacine. They just take the were thylacine for a were raccoon.
Raccoon
Hal
Man
lives
2,
again.
let's go!
Let's
So
fucking go.
back to the game. So
After
what
a
were
few
you
minutes.
saying, Hanzo?
Just keep an eye out, because something may have been washed down into the storm drains with all the rain that's been going on.
Gotcha.
Don't know yet. Can't give you many details.
Eh,
Well,
honestly, it's probably better that I don't know the details.
Alrighty. Morning, Hanzo. Here's your tall black coffee that you get, and your usual breakfast. And that can be whatever you want. And here's your breakfast, buddy. And Carlos will put down in front of you, Tommy, a burrito that looks like it's almost more meat than egg.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Is
Hanzo.
Tommy an obligate carnivore?
No, this is Carlos uses Tommy for his weird experiments.
Oh.
He gets his money out of them.
Yes,
carne
Game Master.
Hanzo, as you're sitting there, getting served up, you glance around the diner, and maybe it's because you saw them recently and the thought came to you. You do see, been a kind of a common thing recently. There's like a little vase by the register, where checkout happens and stuff. And there's a little flower vase there with some very familiar red flowers just look to be recently plucked and put there. And you think about it, those have been there for, fairly consistently. Every once in a while it'd be empty or different flowers, but there's been aster flowers fairly commonly picked and put in that flower vase. Now that you're thinking about that flower recently,
Probably just reading into it. Just Hanzo mumbles as he eats his breakfast.
Reading into what, buddy?
Flowers.
Oh, yeah, those get picked. Sometimes it's the kids. Sometimes it's the night waitress. I think it's the night waitress at the very least. Like, they change when she's on shift. I don't know. But sometimes it's the kids.
Just
Sierra, the night waitress.
just thinking about the fact been seeing a lot of those around. Saw some this morning too.
Well, the
Yeah.
rain's probably making them pop like crazy.
yeah. Tommy and Carlos. Sorry, I blanked on your name for a second.
You good?
Yeah, you would also remember seeing just a small field of them, and around the wreck where all the blood had spilled. It was like seeing a wildflower bloom when there hadn't been rain, which you would expect. Like you said, there's going to be probably a pretty good one with the rain over the last day or.
Yep.
And also, again, like Hanzo, you would remember seeing it down in the sewers. Tommy, you would have seen it more recently, so yeah. But yeah, Carlos, you actually did guess it correctly. You have seen mainly, it is Carla actually who changes it out, the mother of the kids.
Yep.
Sometimes it'll change out with Sierra's shift, but you've mostly seen Carla being the one putting in fresh flowers.
Drat, my effort to make Sierra the night waitress a plot hook has gone to no avail.
Well, no, it's just I already had a plot hook there.
Oh,
You
that's
put the
fair.
You put the phrase "the night waitress" out and say it repeatedly, and it keeps sparking something in me. Stop saying it.
Honestly, Fred, you would have probably seen her and interacted at least.
I
ordering those
have.
cards into
I
night.
have. I'm talking from Will's perspective.
Yeah,
As a person who frequently has crushes on waitresses, it's just like stop saying that. Stop saying the night waitress.
God,
I'm just imagining the coolest
The
woman
night
imaginable.
waitress.
Stop saying it.
Wait,
God.
you
The
want us
night
I'm trying to be
waitress.
in the game. I'm trying to be in the game, and you're just making me be like the night waitress.
What is that shit?
wait, so you want us to stop saying the night waitress?
Yes, I would prefer that, please.
You know, Olivia and Will, same.
Every time somebody says night waitress, just for a bit of like a contrast to TT, I just picture a masked weirdo superhero who chose a really
None of this is-
strange costume. Just throws
That's
hot
Adventure
coffee
Brothers
at people.
That's Adventure Brothers background character.
None of this is actually breaking what's going on in my head.
Well, I'm
I get it, TT. I gave her my number and did not
Oh
get a
my
call
God.
back.
Ah, she left you on
There's
red.
literally a jar full of papers that are people leaving numbers for her.
Olivia
She's
was
the
not bothered by it.
night
She was just like, I'll shoot my shot.
To be fair, it started as a joke with the night waitress because she was having it, but like Carla gets some too because the people who are weird about mothers now still existed back in the day.
Sandy might be a little offended she doesn't get nearly as many.
There
She's
are
the
a
other
surprising
daytime
amount of
waitress.
There are a surprising amount of numbers for the chef in the back who says nothing.
Audience, I would like to
Hugo.
take this moment to say, don't flirt
that's
with
my
or
first
be
Hugo, just
infatuated
making sure.
with waitresses. They're here to do a job, and if you start bringing romantic intentions into it, that's creepy. Don't do it. It's a bad habit. Cut it out.
But this is fantasy, and we do what we want.
This is fantasy, and we do what we want, but I just want to break immersion for a moment and say, audience, don't do it. Don't have
Carlos-
crush on waitresses. Don't be like me.
God,
Live your
it's
life
the
better.
80s, 90s PSA where they break to stop and look at camera.
We had a lot of fun today, but I'd like to talk about a very serious issue, which is having a crush on a waitress. Don't do
Oh
it.
my God.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Stop it, you piece of shit.
Okay, so
Anyway,
Hanzo, anything else to tell your friends about, or?
Yeah, in his mind is like, I could tell them, but we also know barely anything, so I'm not going to get them worked up just yet.
Okay.
Plus, it's
So,
it's in the morning. They deserve to have breakfast in them before they. I was like, turns out there's a giant blob of digestive fluid just slithering around town now.
so, well, so the three of you have a pleasant morning. Maybe a little more unpleasant on Hanzo's end after trying to eat after seeing you eating people.
that bother him?
Yeah, how would that bother Hanzo? How strong is this stomach?
I imagine at this point it wouldn't make him vomit, but it's still a disturbing thing to see.
Yeah. So
There's not it's very hard to ruffle Hanzo, but still he's enough of a human being to acknowledge that's pretty fucked up.
okay, so the three of you have a pleasant breakfast. We're going to switch real quick. Olivia.
Yes.
Speaking of Itzel, as we mentioned her earlier,
Mm-hmm.
she actually is with you in the, the repair area of the
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
preserve.
I got her a job.
And a few days ago, she's one of the official mechanics for the preserve. responsible for attending to the vehicles, the various vehicles and such, and other jobs that might need mechanical hand.
Yeah.
And she's putting on her helmet, very blackout helmet, and making sure her wrists are covered as she's getting ready to get on her bike, head home for the day. But she goes, "Morning, Olivia," because you probably had just gotten into work yourself.
Yeah, she's kind of got like a distracted look on her face. Oh, hey, morning, Itzel. Anything
Something on your
interesting during
mind?
the night?
No, not really. Just doing maintenance. Most interesting was had to go help someone change a tire when they their little golf cart blew. So kind of shrugs. Simple but satisfying, I guess. Uh, you know,
You been enjoying this, Itzel?
yeah, it's a lot less demeaning than working a factory job for a opponent. She's sitting astride the motorcycle with the visor up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it here so far. Again,
I'm
thanks.
glad.
But something on your mind? You seem distracted.
Yeah, something weird happened is all. I've just been trying to figure out how to deal with it.
I mean, weird is the normal here, but
Yeah,
what's eating
that's true. But typically, the weird doesn't come into my truck and appear when I have my back turned.
you? Well,
Oh,
okay.
dude.
I was gonna say I've had that happen, but it turned out to be a rattlesnake that crawled into my truck one time, looking for warmth. Nothing against it, but that was startling to get in my truck, and then hear the rattle. You're like a foot away. You're like 2 feet away from me. So,
Oh, poor baby.
yeah, I totally get it. But that made my
No.
undead heart really beat.
Frightening. Of course, I wasn't trying to yeah.
Yeah,
I had to get I've had to get snakes out of people's apartments and stuff before. Poor things are usually pretty terrified.
oh yeah. Normally I can, I've had them show up, once or twice in my place, and normally I can get them, encourage them to leave. But yeah, that was startling for both of us. But anyways,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
something show up in your truck?
Yeah. A luchador mask?
That's
He lives.
not what I was expecting you to say. A
Me
luchador
neither.
mask?
I wasn't expecting a luchador mask to
I
appear.
thought you were going to
in my
say
truck
something
either.
like some creepy stalker left you a very concerning note or something.
Oh God! Don't even say that. Jesus.
I mean, yeah, if that does happen, come to me and we'll figure that out and deal with it. But
I'm sorry
Thank
to
you.
say, but this seems like a repeat of the fairy versus walrus argument. What's weirder? A stalker leaves a note, or a luchador leaves their mask?
but she goes, that is weird. I mean, luchador masks are, unless it's like something you like
I mean,
get off
luchador
a
masks are
kiosk.
supposed to be, special to the owner of the mask.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. If it's like an actual legit mask, that's probably unique to someone, and not unless it's like one of those mass-produced ones you get off a kiosk down in Tijuana.
It was it's like chupacabra themed.
Oh, like El Chupacabra.
Yes.
Yeah, local luchador. Saw a match or two of his a couple decades back.
Huh.
Oh God, the night waitress. Oh god, the waitress slippers are
There's a-
too real.
There's a non-zero chance I'm drawing that.
Let me show our audience
Not,
the
not,
night
not,
waitress.
not tonight. Not tonight because I'm not in a drawing vein. But there's a non-zero chance I'm going to draw that at some point.
I've showed the
Oh.
audience the night waitress so they all know what happened.
That's funny. That's great. So,
It's like weird. It's weird that it just showed up. You know, like I was
yeah,
out
that is.
of my car investigating some giant bat. Oh god. Fuck.
You
What's it
were investigating graffiti that
Thank you,
showed
geez.
Kamazats.
Yeah, I was investigating some graffiti of something called Kamazats.
You should kind of like since you can only see really her eyes and brow because the visor's up. You see it furrow thoughtfully. She's like the bat god.
Apparently,
Yeah, that would track with old Chupacabra's thing. I remember he would shout, like that was like what was it? The Kamazat's Crusher or something was like one of his moves.
that's a cool name.
It's years, honestly, but yeah, I think the wrestling ring, the club is still up. Might be able to check them out.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about headed there. Yeah.
Keep me in the. Sorry, what?
All right. What's your house number? Give you a call if I need to, I guess.
Oh, okay. She leaves it. She goes, I mean, could have looked this up for my details, but here you go.
Thanks.
But
Look for your phone number without your permission.
Olivia's black book grows. So, she looks like she's in her 30s, but that's very subjective with vampires. You've asked. Damn, Jimmy. Find my numbers. But yeah, she's. You've asked Winifred how old she is. Vampires are, picky about who they're actually truthful to about their ages.
But she's not gonna. She can ask Winifred because they've had some life and death situations together, and she likes Itzel. Itzel's very cool, but she's not gonna ask that question yet. They're not. Their relationship is not at that level.
Yeah, she looks like late 30s.
Winifred's also never been truthful with you.
Yeah.
Also true. Yeah, I'll give you a call if anything comes up.
Yeah, just keep me in the loop.
All right.
I've been thinking about catching some matches again. I sometimes see flyers down at the bar and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not all lucha libre. It's a mix of also more like American professional wrestling like you see on TV, but they different nights and stuff, or even sometimes mixed events, or at least that's what it used to be like back early 80s when I was still watching.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, she kind of looks over and seeing
seen
that.
La Dama Calamidad?
This is the DM. What did you say?
La Dama Calamidad.
No.
All right.
I don't know what that is, so I can't tell you if she would know what that is. Oh. And she goes, if it's a new wrestler, no, I haven't really caught back up. I've just seen some posters up.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, it's my sentence, and I was a little bitter after getting released, and then the whole Coyotes bullshit didn't really go out much. But
Could be fun. Could be a fun time.
Yeah. No, some of your friends seem like they might be like it too, but I'm gonna go before it gets too bright. The clouds are breaking up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Even with the visor, driving it into the light is a bitch.
We gotta like build your bike like an overhang or something.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. They look like hill bugs with wheels. So
Besmirch not the noble pill bug.
she goes, they look cool, but they also look like they need to be built to be a very durable roll cage, because otherwise you're just in a coffin. And by that point, why not just have a car?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, get out of here before it gets too bright.
Yep. So flips down the visor and runs up and heads out. And when you head in, to basically clock in,
Yeah.
you check in, and very quickly George, the manager, he's kind of the one who handles the like actual day-to-day running of things and assigning
Yeah.
stuff. He goes, "Oh, Olivia, I need you and I think it was Bodie. Yes, Bodie. I need the two of you to. There's apparently a cow corpse got stuck in one of the canals, and it's a two-person job."
The cow corpse?
Yeah, I think it probably like broke its leg and fell into one of the canals, got out of its pen, and
Ah, damn, poor thing.
yeah, and Bodie's already getting the big truck with the crane ready. So
All right, I'll head out. I'll go find him and we'll head out.
he goes, oh, I'm trying to find. Sorry, I'm trying to find a specific name. He goes, honestly, if I apologize if it ends up being one of Walter Fernandez's cows, because you would know he's kind of
a problem.
Yeah, he's sort of the he's a prominent cattle and ostrich rancher. He kind of is the spokesperson for a lot of the local farmers and ranchers who have, not to make a pun, beef with Pluripotent and by extension the preserve. Like
great.
Like they pretty much blame. It's like, why is this corporation letting these monsters get out and kill our our valuable cattle? You would recognize his name from the Chupacabra incidents, as some of his animals were attacked, and he made us think about that.
Damn, if we weren't here, there would have been even more animals eaten.
Yeah, and George goes, yeah, just how it is.
If he shows up, I'll try and put on my smiling face.
Yep. Remember, customer service time. Only like 5% of the job. Don't
There's
worry.
a reason I avoided customer service.
Yeah, and I wish that it kind of gets this like almost like 1,000-yard stare for a moment. He goes, I didn't realize how much of that was going to be my job when I accepted Lucy's offer to help her run this place.
Oh.
He's just like, oh, make sure you mask up and glove up. Just
I don't want to catch anything.
From what it sounded, it got called in. It sounded like it fell in maybe broke its neck and leg and couldn't get out, hurt itself. It's well, let you get to it. Sorry about this to be so
No,
early,
no,
but
it's fine. I need something. I need some something to get my mind off things.
all right. So he will, pats you on the shoulder and then heads off to do, paperwork or whatever he does, leaving you to go
He
meet
does.
Bodhi. He's kind of a by the name, he's kind of, very predictably, he's kind of a surfer persona attitude.
Ah,
He did. I can't remember if I said he actually came from California or not, but yeah, he's just like, oh, what's up, Olivia? Ready to head out? Got ourselves a couple sides of beef to haul out, huh?
that's what you call a side. Is that what? If that's what you call a side of beef, I think you like your steak rarer than most vampires.
I mean, it's better working here than at the butcher, but the slaughterhouse. That's the term.
Oh yeah, not my thing.
She nods and goes, well, and he goes, you want to drive or should I?
You can drive this time.
All right.
My mind's a
And
little elsewhere.
so you go and get into one of the larger trucks. It's not the one that you use normally.
Uh huh.
But actually, that's your personal truck that you normally use.
Yeah.
You're not really supposed to use it as a personal vehicle, but you do anyways.
I take care of it.
Yeah.
After I get a shot.
Yeah. Itzel would have made a comment about that. She would have found like the evidence of them being patched up. She's like, these bullet holes? And if once she said Hell's Candy, she goes, oh yeah, that tracks. But so you and Buddy load up into the truck that has like a small crate on the back.
Okay.
This one doesn't really get used much. It is usually if there is like a large animal that dies somewhere inconvenient.
Gotcha.
And or even sometimes on the preserve if something is heavy enough, but they need to like injured a leg, need to lift it up and transport it somewhere, to the medical center, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So you drive off, Bodhi's, listening to morning rock station. It's kind of obnoxious, but
She's a little thankful for the distraction.
yeah. And he goes, so he's like seems like awkwardly thinking of something to talk about. He goes, so how about that rain, huh?
Yeah, it's nice to have a nice shower after not having one for a while.
Yeah. I swore, when I was getting ready to come out of work today, seeing the rain gutters on the road, I swore I saw a gecko riding by on a leaf, just
What?
like sailing down the river.
What?
Just little dude on his
gecko?
way. Yeah, like one of those little pink house geckos. I don't know.
Pink?
So as a side, this wouldn't be weird. I mean, maybe seeing one sailing would be weird, but there are house geckos in Arizona that are these tiny little pink geckos. They're adorable. I'll find a picture of them, but they are all over the place. So
Okay. I was ready to go. Carnival.
yeah, no, yeah. He goes, I mean, probably not. It's just like, hold on, I found a
Poor
good picture of them. They're adorable.
Poor little guy. Oh.
They're only a few inches long.
Oh.
That I don't know if these are the ones here, but they might be invasive.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
Oh,
It's
Small
mine now.
boy.
Yeah,
Funny enough,
they're how
Libby
you
does
know
not have any
spring and summer has come, because they'll show up on your porches, going after the bugs going up around the porch lights.
And funnily enough, Olivia currently doesn't have any pets.
And he goes, it's probably just imagined it. Maybe it was a piece of gum, but he was.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Those guys managed to get like everywhere.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, my little brother said that he wanted to keep one as a pet, but it's not good to go and capture wild animals and put them in a little critter keeper and not going to be able to take care of it properly.
Yeah, I get it, but it's probably it's better this way.
Oh yeah.
Well, how old is he?
Oh, he's like. This is me, the DM, pausing for effect. He would know. He goes, hey, he's like 13, getting
Oh
ready to
yeah,
go to high school.
I don't know if that he's ready yet.
He was saying this like when we were like really younger, or when he was younger.
Okay.
But now, now he's got like an iguana.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we watched Terminator, so of course he named it Pugsley.
Aw. That's sweet.
Which is still one of my favorite facts about Sarah Connor. So you would continue just talking about like maybe pets and stuff for a bit, but it doesn't take to get to the destination. He goes, oh, here we are, as he pulls off and has to go off like kind of off a dirt road. Because you're
let's see the damage.
areas. What was it?
Let's see the damage.
Yep. And he goes, okay, as he like pulls up, he's like, you stop for a second and you pull up the little local map and like the tracing. He's like, okay, we're here. And he's like, okay, yeah, keep going this way. And he continues driving, following like the dirt road. Then pulls off because you do see it's very similar to, it's not the same one, but it's very similar to the little concrete canals for irrigation and water flooding that you first met Thunder in, where he had it's not the same one, but it's the same type of same system, very different area, but where he was like just watching a goat that got stuck in there and was having a panic attack because there's sudden super predator just looming over it watching it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how you feel. The goat was screaming bloody murder. But and he goes, I guess it's over there, as he points ahead as you start going off road and you see there's a guy standing next to a truck.
Hey, that looks like
waves you over.
Yeah, it looks like the guy.
And you pull up, hop out, and to your relief, it's not Walter.
Oh my god.
And it's looks to be like maybe one of the farmhands, or maybe even like one of the farmers, ranchers, maybe. And he goes, "Yeah, you're the animal disposal people." And he kind of like has this look on his face, like he's like, "Thank God you're here," kind of look, like relief.
Yeah, we're from the preserve.
Okay, so it wasn't like this when I first found it, and then went back to make the call.
What do you mean?
Look, and you look over the edge, and there is the remains of a cow. There's pretty heavy water flow because of the rains. Even more than just what the irrigation would do. During irrigation days, they would be like almost full, but this is like partially full thanks to the rain. You see a cattle stripped down mostly to bone and gristle, all the soft tissue's gone. It looks like something had been like stuck there for a long time, and like fish or something had torn it apart. And Bodhi's like, yeah, what? We got a call that it was just a cow with a broken neck or something. And the guy goes, yeah, that's the thing. I've showed up here, I was doing the morning, checking the fences, saw one of the for storm damage, checking, and he gestures off to one of the farming properties, the farmhouse properties near, like
Yeah.
a mile away. Goes, I was just doing the check, saw one of the farm, the fence was down, some of the cattle were out, herded them back, and then I noticed I was missing one. And I followed the trail here, saw her down there. She probably stumbled in during the night and didn't see it, broke her leg, maybe her neck. And then
Poor thing.
I left, made the call, and I was only gone for like 2 hours.
What the fuck?
And Bodhi's like, what the? And he's like, he echoes you, what the fuck?
All right. Okay, we gotta
The
get
guy
it
goes,
out of there. Either
so
way.
here's the weird part. It's the parts that aren't exposed. It looks like maybe the parts that are exposed. It only looks partially eaten.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna cut down. Take a look.
And Bodhi's like, go upstream, so you're not getting washed onto.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks.
And he goes, oh wait, here, and he goes and gets like a tether and ties it to the car so that to help lower you down.
Thumbs up. Thanks, Brody.
So you go down to take a closer look.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as you get closer to look at it, you realize what he was saying. It's hard to tell really with the water rushing by. It's not the clearest water because there's sediment that gets caught in the canals and stuff.
Yeah.
But you realize that under the water, where it's flowing fairly strong, there are still large pieces of not too descriptive of meat, of flesh, still intact. So it looks like you're kind of morbidly relieved that there's still enough there to help secure and haul it out without it falling to pieces and contaminating the water further.
Yeah. All right. I wouldn't call it good news, but something. The stuff under the water doesn't seem like it's been whatever this is.
Yeah, looking at it, it's just mostly above the water. It's bone and gristle and stuff. The tougher parts of the animal.
God.
In a kind of like, there's a moment where you almost sort of think of like the cattle mutilations.
Yeah, that is something that's popped into her mind. Which, like, no, it's degrade things like rip them open. Huh. Fuck. Give Hanzo a call, I think. Alright, pass me down the winch.
Okay, so with you and
we do our
Buddy,
thing.
you get it secured.
Yeah, while I wait, can I just investigate the corpse for anything strange?
Roll investigate.
Woo!
Investigate this mystery.
Investigate this mystery! What is my investigation? It's pretty good. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so just to describe it, it's the parts that are like near the bottom of the canal that are intact. It's not like a hard barrier. It's like where the parts that are out of water are just bone. You do see that it's been stripped down underneath most of the water too. It's just the water, the heavier flow parts, they're more intact.
Okay. 9.
9, I believe, is a hold of 1.
It is. Yeah, that was a shitty roll.
You have a hold of 1. What happened here? What sort of creature? Oh, excuse me. Jeez. Got Mountain Dew burps. What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here? some of those, like the previous investigate, might not be too applicable for this situation, but
what sort of creature is it? That
you
could do
start
that.
you start like crouching down. You probably have like waders. You probably put on like waders, knowing that you'd have to get down into a wet canal. But so you crouch down to get closer look, and using your gloves to make sure you're not just handling potential biohazard. Um, and yeah, it's looking at it. It really reminds you of finding, like disposing of animals that have been left out to be, that have already been stripped of scavengers. But like, this is too fresh to be like, oh, this has already been hit by vultures or other
Yeah.
scavengers, other insects and stuff. But it really does seem like whatever creature this is stripped it of whatever meat it is, so this thing is hungry. You can't
Is there
exactly
even any blood left?
whatever you would I'll throw that in. Whatever blood you would probably have washed away with the water.
Okay. But like,
And yeah, and as you start hauling it up, um, start exposing some of the parts that weren't completely stripped away. There is like this weird chemical scent. It's not like something you've really smelt before. It's vaguely acidic. If you had a guess, it kind of stings the nose a bit. And as you see, like bits of the again, not to be too gruesomely descriptive, bits of the cow drop into the water and drift away. It just but as it lifts away, you do see some parts of the skin and the flesh that are still there. This cow has been in the water for you would guess just only a couple hours. It shouldn't have swollen and bloated like it looks like now that you've seen the other uncovered side as it's getting hauled up. Almost like it was inflamed.
Oh.
And then you see, like, as it's coming up, it does look like bits of the skin, the outer skin, was already being, like, if you had a guess, put a word to it, dissolved or torn apart before whatever water.
Cool. You have like living stomach acid. That's great.
And it kind of looks like something that got inflamed after getting stung by like a wasp or a scorpion or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Or even if you've been probably seen nature documentaries, maybe something like jellyfish kind of stings where it's just everything just swells up.
Yeah.
It also looked like it was dissolving.
That's concerning.
So you and Bodhi get the big bags to bag this thing up. The guys, like the farmer, like is queasy, has to turn away, and like you hear him fight to keep his breakfast in.
Yeah.
Bodhi, for his part, seems to have a sturdy stomach, strong stomach, so he's just kind of like you're just making faces at how gnarly it is.
Yeah.
And he does use the word gnarly a couple of times.
Oh god.
So that's not normal. We should as you guys are like getting it bagged up on secured on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
He goes, so we should bring this to Dr. Lucia, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because that's not normal.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, honestly, that was weird. It looks like it looked like when like a taxidermy person like uses beetles to clean bones, but
Under the parts under the water, did you notice they're less whatever that is?
I mean, if it was like and then he like pauses for a second as if like a light bulb or like a connection is made in his head, and then he like looks down and he goes, "You think something from the superorganism? Like I've heard about like
Yeah,
giant amoebas and stuff down there."
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh shit!
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh shit! Uh, yeah. Then he's like, yeah, let's get back to Dr. Lucia with this. He looks to the farmer. He goes, uh, yeah, sorry about your cow. I probably wouldn't use this water for a while. Let it filter out, I guess. We're gonna, you
Yeah,
know,
that needs a cleaning.
yeah, we're gonna pass it along and let the proper people know about this because this might be a biocon thing. So yeah, you fix the fence, keep your cows in. All right. Bodhi, you would know doesn't really have a
The best people skills.
um. It's hard to tell when he's being serious.
uh, yeah, like I said, get that fence of yours fixed up. Keep a close eye on your cows. We're gonna pass this along. Get someone out. Hopefully, get someone out here to take a look and make sure it's not contaminated.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thanks. As he's like saving the think about as he's the farmer's on his own thoughts as he's like getting back in his truck.
Yeah, sure.
So you have acquired half digested cow skeleton.
I don't want it.
So you drive back to the preserve with that. Fred and Winifred.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You guys just chill. Don't really have a. Sorry, I don't. I was just thinking. I don't really have something to bring you in yet, unless you went to Carlos's.
I
I'd like to think you cut to us and we're just like reenacting Frankenstein at the motorcycles, like we got them on a platform going up during a thunderstorm.
It lives.
Winifred is surprisingly not that hard to get to agree to do that kind of bullshit. So
Oh my god, she's an ancient.
Oh,
she's
the
an ancient
first
theater kid.
switch!
So,
Not the third switch! Throw it, damn you! Throw it!
throw it. Doesn't do anything
So-
when I throw it.
okay, so you two are still working on the bikes.
Yep.
Okay.
We're
The
gonna go to
other
Carlos's
three.
as soon as we're done.
Okay. You want to say it's been a couple hours since sunrise, so might be around like 8, 9ish at this point.
Yeah, at this
Oh.
point, I think we're just finishing the bikes, and then we're gonna go take them to Carlos's and show off how fucking cool we are.
So, Olivia.
Yes.
At the point that would happen, you would have brought the cow body back to the preserve. Lucia's not in yet. She usually gets in, in the afternoon or like around noon. But the kind of lab techs that you've dealt with occasionally, they say they'll get a look at it since it is such a weird case.
Yeah.
They're gonna
She'll
take a
tell him
look at
about the
that.
weird smell too.
Yeah, and yeah, so they make note of that and they'll take a look at the. So what are so would you have called Hanzo?
Yeah. Is that? I'll give Hanzo a call after I'm done with that.
Okay, Hanzo. Can't remember. Does Hanzo smoke?
I can't remember either.
I'll just say that there's a point where you like went out to your car for something, and you would see that just for convenience, you are by your car when Olivia calls.
Talk to me.
Hanzo, it's Olivia.
Mm.
We got some shit.
Let me guess. Partially digested corpse.
There's a audible pause. You can hear the silence. All right. Did you run into it, or have you developed psychic powers since the last time I saw you? Which I should note, you haven't really seen Olivia much in the past 2 weeks. She's been pretty not avoiding you, but it's like she seemed very distracted and hasn't really been hanging around.
If I did,
Yeah,
I think I would tell you.
I don't know. That could be a big help with this shit.
No, I have not suddenly developed ESP.
Damn. All right. What'd you find then?
You know, just a pair of murdered bodies.
Fuck. That was a cow for me. He was it was poor thing was sweet.
Where are you?
It was by so and so.
Yeah, when you list it out, that's maybe about 2-3 miles away from where you were, Hanzo.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like one of those neighborhoods that, like, right before it goes to the farming, kind of little community.
Guess it could have washed down in that direction.
Great. It's weird, Hanzo. So farmer said that as far as he knew, the poor thing fell and broke its neck. But aside from the obvious, when we were pulling up out of the water, it looked all inflamed. Like, you ever been oh god, what's a big stinging insect in this area?
Scorpions, moths, ants.
Cazadors.
You ever been stung by a scorpion?
Blessedly, no.
Don't recommend it. It looked like, when you get stung by something like that, it swells and everything.
You would have seen like jellyfish stings.
I went for the weirdest of the options you gave me. Which is
scorpions aren't weird, at least to me, the guy who's had to deal with them growing up.
Oh, fair enough.
It was never as bad as when my coworker sent me not a coworker, jeez, my friend sent me a photo that his coworker had taken when he worked at a car wash, because they kept the uniform shirts inside a locker, or it was the locker open, and where the pile of shirts was, there was 2 scorpions just chilling on the uniforms.
Just the 2 of us. We can
Like
make
two
it
little
if we
bark
try.
scorpions
Just the 2
chilling
of
out.
us.
Oh.
Gals being pals.
Yeah, my friend said the coworker put them into a bucket to dump them out into the lot, where they probably came from behind the place, and the bigger one ate the smaller one.
Oh,
No, that's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But yeah. Swallow.
great.
Well, that's not what I saw over here, but then there was barely any flesh left, so.
Oh yeah, the water seemed to keep it away.
Hmm.
Parts that were submerged in the most like water pressure, I guess, seemed the least the least damaged.
Hmm. I guess that theory holds, well, water, I guess.
Boo!
Hanzo, did you seriously?
I wasn't trying to be funny, it's just certainly in the morning.
English is my second language. Give me some slack.
Mhm. Wasn't trying to be funny, just the word that came to mind.
All right.
Uh,
Um, do you think we got something pulling up out of the organism again?
probably.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, it's may not be from around here specifically.
What's that mean?
Well, evidence suggests it was brought here. Or, well, don't know yet. It's too early to say for sure.
Oh, that's suspicious.
Considering what we've been dealing with over the last few weeks.
Think this could be connected to them?
Can't rule out anything at this preliminary stage.
Yeah, I guess.
As a matter of fact, I should probably call Winifred. She's the Deep Ranger.
Yeah, that's a good point. If it's from in there, she might know.
And Olivia,
Yeah.
over the phone, you hear the rumble of some motorcycle engines. As Hanzo, you turn around and see Winifred and Fred on a pair of motorcycles pull up.
I want you
As
to
if
notice
summoned.
that my bike is the most obnoxious pink in the world.
Do you have a matching pink motorcycle helmet?
Bet your
Since you
ass.
can't use your umbrella.
And a pink leather jacket, too.
Well, speak of the devil.
Well, you might not recognize them until Fred, probably flips up the visor. It's like, oh, hey, Hanzo.
Yeah, Fred, what does yours look like?
Bikers now. I think he's got like a huge, inexplicably Welsh flag off the back of it.
What?
He's customized at a flagpole and then attached a flag with like maybe not actually the Welsh flag, but like definitely a flag with a dragon on it.
Well,
Yeah,
can't
Welsh
blame
flag
them.
is
The Welsh know what they were doing.
Like I feel it's specced out with a lot of gaudy stuff. Like there might be like an oversized horn.
Do you still have your the white leather jacket?
Mm-hmm.
With the fringes.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it would look like the kind of motorcycle Evil Knievel would ride,
Oh my god.
if someone made it themselves in a garage.
Yeah.
Are you getting attacked by a motorcycle gang again, Hanzo?
Maybe.
Watch
My
out, we're
eye-
dangerous bikers.
You hear Fred over the phone.
Fred?
Well, my eyes are being visually assaulted by bikers, yes.
Yep.
Winifred's color is actually like a safety thing.
Mhm.
What's the matter, Hanzo? You're not into pink?
Pink's a fine color. You just chose a very bright one.
I know.
Ask her about the thing.
How about I let you off the phone and let you do your work?
I've got something I gotta do later today. You know, I don't. You can handle this for a little bit, right?
It is my job, so.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna hang up.
You have a more constipated than usual look about you. Is something wrong?
Yeah.
Yay. What?
Yeah, Carlos and Tommy, you heard and saw them roll up
Would
from
you
inside.
you're the Deep Ranger. Would you happen to know if there's any animate digestive fluid slithering around?
Would I?
That could maybe describe a couple of things. So you might need a little bit of clarification.
That could be several things. Is there more information than that?
Bodies stripped of all soft tissues, textiles, and rest of clothing relatively left intact. It doesn't seem to like water.
That would lean, if in your experience, maybe one of the what were they called? Oh, right. I gave these ones the name that this where the biologists are just like, you know what, I can't think of anything for this. It's the mega amoebas, which are basically giant mobile, pretty much as the name describes, organisms similar in behavior and structure to oversized amoebas that will slide over and engulf things to digest them externally. There is something known as the crawling stomach, although they aren't very big, or at least you've never heard of one getting very big, where it is basically like a membrane sac full of digestive fluid that they will engulf things. In a decade or so, they will be the inspiration for a Pokemon known as Gulpin.
Yeah.
But there's there's also like other organisms that crop up where they haven't been classified that might fit that description. There's all sorts of things that unfortunately it's a very common feeding strategy within the superorganism where because there is so much nutrition just all around, might as well turn your entire body into a basically an inside out stomach to digest things.
Yeah.
It's a with the descriptions, it is a frustratingly common feeding strategy.
Okay, and none that would shun water or not eat clothes.
Some things there's actually some species of like the mega amoebas that don't mind water and are actually waterborne, while others prefer the more quote unquote dry areas. Because let's be honest, the superorganism is a very moist thing.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, I was just.
There's not to get descriptive. There's mucus everywhere.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's a particular variety that needs a certain, I don't know,
Like
acidity level.
like even Fred, like listening to this, your shoelaces were partially dissolved by that sizzle slug down in the swamp.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Didn't care
Although
for it.
You would know from like the museum thing. They rarely get bigger than like a foot in length,
Well, it's big
which
enough
is
to eat a
pretty
man's
big
face,
for a
though.
slug. But
Hmm.
It's just, unfortunately, there's just a lot of things that do that.
And how quick are they about it?
Eh,
that's the thing. If most things aren't that quick to strip something down.
Because these bodies were killed then, we're talking about bodies that were killed early this morning, and they're practically bone now.
would that
Now,
ring any
Lydia,
bells?
let's see. Yeah, just roll the investigate a mystery because you're trying to investigate the mysteries of your memory.
Okay. I'm gonna see if this rolling thing will be nice to me. Plus, what do I got for that? +2, not bad.
Yeah.
No. The answer is no. It's
Yeah.
not going to be nice to me.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Again, it's just that this is one of the more frustrating things because there's a body that's been exsanguinated. Yeah, chupacabra, or something that's been sliced to bits while having envenomed. That's probably a scorpionite, but these aren't snipped pieces.
We got nothing.
It's just
There's literally nothing. It's just
yeah,
bones.
yeah. Winifred, unfortunately, maybe it's something that occurs in places where you're not one of your patrol routes, really, because the Deep Rangers, when they're not exploring new areas, they kind of have their own little areas that they become semi-responsible for patrolling to make sure things are normal. So, in between the deep dives and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
typical park ranger kind of thing where it's like you patrol and make sure there isn't the superorganism equivalent of a wildfire. Not saying there is, but that kind of thing. Just
Well,
doing it's kind of because it's similar to like a doctor. It's kind of derisively sometimes referred to as checkup duty or checkup patrol.
yeah. She's gonna like make a face and go, well, nothing I know is that fast, but that doesn't mean anything in the superorganism.
Or
Just
at least
because I haven't come across it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
you've heard of things small getting eaten very quickly, but something like a human or even a cattle, that's odd.
Yeah, it can happen with smaller things, but not with something as big as what you're saying.
Hmm. Well,
Although
I guess that
with
points
all of the
towards.
with all of the bullshit that we've been dealing with, it doesn't, rule out that somebody's been poking with their fingers and things they're not supposed to.
Yeah. Because it may be this creature was brought from outside of Redemption.
Oh, good.
So we're dealing with a monster beyond redemption, possibly.
Oh wow, cool bikes! As you're suddenly like hear these two voices as you turn and see Manny and Rio, the twins of Carla, kind of walking up like, cool bikes. Are these yours?
Yeah,
Very clearly yours as you're color coordinated.
Yeah.
we tricked him out ourselves. We're pretty hep that way.
We pulled him out of the dumpster.
And the kids laugh, but they're like, seem interested. Although it might be a little brief because kids and their attention spans like, those are cool. Maybe we can, show us how to ride them sometime. And that was the boy going, and his sister kind of elbows him and he goes, Mom won't let us ride motorcycles. She says we're never going to ride one as long as we're living at home. And He rolls his eyes. Yeah. There you go. Well, we're gonna go inside. Mom says she has breakfast for it. She would make us breakfast if we came by. And they wave and go ahead again. And Fred, you kind of realize they're about the same age as your son. They're both like 11. All three of them are like 11.
Hmm.
Or actually, no. Your son will be turning 11 soon.
Mm-hmm. Just old enough to watch Akira.
I mean, I watched that movie when I was 12, 13 because I stayed up too late and like HBO or something was playing it. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
I like this like action sequence with them like having a biker fight against the clowns. I like Road Warrior. This is cool. And then by the end of it, it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, I'm never going to be the same.
I feel like you're a good, healthy '90s kid if you've had some sort of traumatizing yet formative experience with anime.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was me and Spirited Away, specifically the scenes with no face.
that was me.
The one
On the 1 year that I had cable, finding Fist of the North Star.
Oh my god.
Oh,
someone could probably make the argument that it was me and Tenchi Muyo, but the one that was traumatizing rather than just scarring in different ways was Blue Submarine #6.
Oh god.
Oh,
I don't.
Jesus.
I've never seen any of these.
Blue Submarine #6. I remember that one with the big shark woman as the villain.
Yeah, it was incredibly violent, and it was shown on Toonami, and like it's a mini series,
Yeah.
and you're not really sure exactly what's going on, but there's fish people, and I just remember it being like really horrifying and being like, "What the fuck am I watching? This
Yeah,
isn't
I
Gundam
love that
Wing."
series as a kid. Because I watched it on Toonami too.
Like I don't feel scarred by watching Tenchi Muyo, but I'm looking back, I'm like, I probably was too young to be watching that when I was watching that.
Yeah. I remember God, I was talking about this with a friend, not to get too tangential. We'll get back to the game. I remember I was talking to a friend recently about how I remember distinctly being a kid going to Blockbusters and picking up, oh, this looks neat, Princess Mononoke, and going home and watching it with my guardian, and she was just like, "What is this?" And I'm just like, "I love this." But so yeah, the kids, their attention shifts to getting breakfast, and they go filing in. You get the sense that Carla kind of comes into work, and the kids might take care of themselves in the morning. You don't really like Carlos. Yeah, Carlos. Carla is a single mother, but and the kids, sometimes have a babysitter, but usually they, kind of take care of themselves or come here. It is a very common thing for them to get breakfast here, and Carla tried to well, I can go make it against my paycheck, but both you and Hugo both were basically, even with Hugo not having to say anything, we're like, no, they get food. So, yeah, they walk in, and Carlos and Tommy, you see these kids walk in, and they wave. Hey, Mr. Carlos. Hi, Tommy.
Hey,
hello.
And they go and find their typical booth, and their mom goes to start talking to them. So, and yeah, the two of you saw the pair of them roll up in motorcycles, and they might head in by this point, or you can join them outside.
I mean, I'll go in.
Okay, so they rejoin you inside. Hanzo rejoins you now with the Freds in tow.
Good morning.
Hey, I just realized what Fred tried to do with his bike. He tried to make it the wizard van equivalent of a motorcycle.
Yes, exactly that.
We can airbrush a little wizard on the tank if you want.
There is absolutely an airbrushed wizard on the tank that's also driving a motorcycle over a dragon, which is in turn driving a motorcycle over a volcano.
It is a very small but very
Oh
detailed
my god.
piece.
I used my vampire eyes to get the painting right.
Winifred's an artist.
Hyperfixation eye mode.
I mean,
It's like,
she's however many years old.
Yeah.
She has to have hobbies.
yeah, it's like, do not disturb me, Fred. I am in my craft.
If there was more space, the volcano would be driving a motorbike over another wizard.
Oh my god.
God. It just loops
Bill
around.
Kelly, DT.
So y'all file in. Winifred and Fred, you get looks from the other diners as you or the other patrons as you walk in, but there's a few whispers. But when they see your helmet come off, Winifred, a few of the regulars kind of nod, like, "Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was."
Yeah, that tracks. She's back in her bullshit again.
I see. Just when we thought Fred may have found herself a woman, in fact, Winifred found herself another pathetic man to take care of.
Wow.
Wow.
It's not inaccurate.
Her Redfield.
Yeah.
It's just funny considering Winifred's name. But, so, yeah, they're all gathered there except for Olivia, who's doing work at the preserve, waiting for details on the cattle corpse.
Yeah, given their names, I guess it would be like Redfield and Redderfield.
Jesus. Wow. So, I hear Hanzo has found us another plate of bullshit.
Has he now? Good. He didn't mention much about it before he went outside to go answer his phone. By the way, loving the new outfits, and I saw the bikes through the window. Very nice.
Yeah, these
Thank
ones,
you. We worked hard on them.
We're just hoping they don't explode.
Next time, can you warn me so I can put on sunglasses?
You don't put on sunglasses interacting with me in the first place?
Not necessarily, no.
I think you'd be used to it by the obnoxiously neon colors I wear, but heyo.
Yeah, we are walking neon signs, basically, both of us. We
Disco
chose
will
that.
never die.
It's 1992 and disco will never die. There is a discotheque that's still in service. I know I wrote it down somewhere. I'm not going to hunt it down. I just like disco myself, okay?
That's fair.
Disco's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do know. I just remember the radio station that your Bodie was listening to is CYOT, the Coyote. But anyways.
I love that.
Yeah, that was actually a real radio station here for a while that played smooth jazz. And I only knew it because it was the music that my guardian would play at his work that I had to spend hours at. So I was so used to hearing like Kenny G and smooth jazz, it stuck there in my head.
You're listening to Arizona Desert FM. You just hear a coyote howling in the distance.
I mean, you're not wrong. They do stuff like that. Anyways,
3 dogs, 3 coyote.
I don't know. So yeah, you've met up. Morning. What you doing?
What exactly is going on, Hanzo? Like, do you have any more information on this?
Told you about as much as I know.
So, Jack and shit.
Yep.
Well, we've done more with less.
Yeah. I'm sure someone will phone me about the analysis.
So I'm just gonna bring. Have you explained this? I don't think you've explained this all to Tommy and Carlos, have you?
No. Not yet.
Yeah, Tommy's just been going along with it.
Just chowing down on the giant meat burrito.
Yeah, wondering, okay, what shit have we gotten into now?
Mm-hmm. 3 bodies so far, 2 human, 1 animal. Digested very quickly. And I'm about Olivia here, Winifred here is about it in the dark as I am about it. Could be any number of nasty things, apparently.
There's a lot of things that just digest things in the superorganism.
Yep.
This place is fucked up.
Yep.
Says the guy from Australia.
It's less fucked up there.
No, I know. Australia's actually very nice.
It would take one to know one, I suppose. I bet there's an Australian superorganism.
Oh god.
Maybe it's the same one.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Stretching
this might be
across
like
oceans.
might be culturally insensitive to say, but maybe Uluru is the shell.
Maybe it's the continent itself.
The Great Emu War was a cover-up.
Well, there is that one desert that has that one massive oasis in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, continue. Ignore my tangents.
Never.
Yeah, that. But yeah, I was hoping for more information before telling, but you know, since you can't pin anything down, guess we're still at square one.
It's for some of us, and she's gonna nod at Tommy. It's probably better to know before you run into it in dark places.
Yeah.
I told Tommy to look out because something might have been washed down the storm drains, but if I recall, he's the one who said, "You know what? Actually, I don't want to know."
Pretty much.
And the only problem is we don't exactly know what it is, so we can't pin down bad behavior.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, since there's not much to go off of, I'm just going to sit here and eat my breakfast.
I hope Pluripotent actually does something on time.
I let them know. And I'm sure they'll get off their ass because Pluripotent is always very insistent about mucking with the police.
Fun. Wanna go see if our motorcycles do donuts?
Fuck yeah!
You have like a back lot, don't you, Carlos?
Yeah. That's where you traumatized Fred by
Yeah, that's right.
accidentally gaslighting him into believing he was a werewolf.
That's right. That was good times.
Yeah, good
I
times
just
were had
love-
by all.
I love saying the phrase, accidentally gaslit someone into believing he was a werewolf.
See, my brain now is going to that one gif of Walter White who's utterly distraught and just collapses to his knees and starts crying.
God.
But that's
He did
Fred.
that on purpose.
Oh, Carlos, the animatronics, those working?
As much as they usually do, yeah.
Excellent.
Cool. That'll be $8.
I haven't bought anything.
You want to go see? I'm assuming you want to go see the animatronics. That'll be
Oh,
$8.
not at the moment. I just wanted to make sure they were functional because they break down a lot.
They do.
Complicated pieces of machinery.
I'm still trying to figure out how to jerry rig this one because between the old records and the machinery I have in the back room, I'm pretty sure it was from when this used to be like a mythology themed ride, and I don't know how to make a Hydra animatronic work in a super organism themed ride.
Just going to look to the Deep Ranger of the party.
I mean,
Might be able to turn it into a graboid.
probably use it as a graboid. That'd be funny.
That would work. It'd be a big ass graboid, but it would work.
I mean,
You'd have to make an off-brand graboid. Maybe you can mix it with that big sandworm from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, graboids are the gentle giants of the superorganism.
turns out you're not you when you're hangry.
Yeah, they just have plenty of food in there, so they don't have to do anything.
I mean, they're just the act of digging gives them food. They just move a few feet and like, okay, I'm full now.
Yeah, that's like it's been a theme, like with the organisms taken out of their native environments become invasive and fuck things up, like say chupacabras who start starving immediately once they get to the surface. Or giant telepathic, not telekinetic.
Not yet, anyways.
Giant telepathic crocodiles who are only telepathic inside the superorganism.
Yeah, that's the only place they can get their 5G.
I mean, you're not wrong in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But-
where the 5G RAF ended up.
Oh no.
No, that's for when I do the guest arc.
So, so you all you get your, breads, you get your meals, you get liquid or
friends.
otherwise. What is that?
Get your friends.
Fried Fred. So while you're waiting for a call, Hansa, or just, the dreaded thing of work, it's just waiting to work. It's the worst kind of waiting.
Yeah, especially when he knows he's still in the doghouse, effectively.
Yep. And so we'll go back to Olivia for a bit. For a second.
Whoa.
Olivia,
Yes.
you don't really have much to do on the preserve. But it's takes you fairly easy. Just going around feeding some of the animals, cleaning up a bit. It's not
You love
really
what
like
you
a
do, you
really
don't work a day in your life.
What is that?
You love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I
not
miss
true,
about the
actually.
90s. But yeah, so you do get a call from you get like a little call saying hey, might need some help. Think there's a snake or something that got into a chicken coop. Need help scooting it out. The chickens won't go in,
There's a snake in my coop.
It's just,
Duties?
a farm that's, it's not even like a farm. It's someone's like backyard chicken coop.
All right, we'll send someone out.
I'm sorry to tangent, but I joked about the emu war was a cover up for the Australian superorganism, and then I realized, wait a minute, we have an emu here.
Mhm.
He's an
The
undercover agent.
so I want to again clarify. There is the moa, and then there is a normal mundane emu. It is the mundane emu that has the beef with Olivia. The moa has beef with Tommy.
Yes.
A beard of prey.
The emu is like it's just Jeremy. It's just some random
Paramy
person's
Jeremy.
emu.
He
Son
returned.
of a bitch.
I did not
Damn
intend
you.
for that because I.
Paramy
Anyways,
Jeremy too.
so
That's what Perry Jeremy's parents said.
Olivia, you get into your normal
Damn.
truck. Oh, jeez. Olivia, you head off, with your normal truck and you're like the snake stick and
Yes.
bag. It's not the first time you've had to deal with that. Snakes love to get in and go after chicken eggs, and it's nice and warm in there. Warm in there. They'll like tuck themselves under nests or in there and spook the chickens. And if they're big enough that you realize it's probably a big rattler. If the chickens are intimidated enough to stay out of the coop, because if it was a smaller one, chickens will gang up on it and peck it to death.
Yeah.
Um,
Good boy.
but yeah, when you get there, it's maybe about 5 miles away from like where you found the cow and like where Hanzo mentioned finding the crime scenes. But it's near the farming area, but it's not really like there. It's a good distance away. So as you head back, you see someone in the window kind of point around, and they kind of open it a bit. They're like, "It's back there. I'm gonna stay in here. I don't like snakes."
Did you get a look at it?
No, it was just kind of. I saw something dark shifting around in there that looked like snake coils. I've seen them before. They do this. They like eggs, and
You know,
some of the
I
smaller
know snakes.
chickens.
Thanks. I know snakes. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to see if I could
Okay.
identify it before seeing it.
Yeah. Okay. They close the window.
Yeah, make sure
Yeah.
to bring a flashlight, Olivia,
Yeah, I have a flashlight.
so you could see the snake.
Yeah.
The beautiful, beautiful
snake.
snake.
So,
Absolutely gorgeous snake.
Ow.
Hey, if I fall over and start convulsing, call
As-
911.
As you're walking over to the chicken coop, you see the chickens are milling about the yard. You're like, but they are on like the opposite end of the yard from where the coop is.
Yeah, where's this in relation to the last incident?
5
Like
miles.
5 miles away.
Okay, that's a ways away. I'm gonna
Yeah,
click on.
there's like a
click on-
canal, like maybe half a mile away. But
Okay, and click on the flashlight.
yeah, and as you start walking back there, towards it, you do like I'll say it. I'll say that you're pretty well versed at traversing like deserty areas and walking out for things, and you are looking out. So it's not hard to see as you're walking along the side of the yard before actually entering it. You do see a rattlesnake go slithering by into towards the desert area. And you like pause it and look at it, it's like, oh, is that it? But then you realize, no, that's a younger one. And it's like it's not coming from the direction of the thing. It was kind of like it looks like it started slithering away at your approach. It might have just been resting there or something.
Okay. That's
But
not.
you do see the chickens still like they're making those distressed clucking noises.
Yeah.
They're like keeping a distance from the coop.
Yeah. That was you. They had pecked you to death already.
Yeah,
I'm
it
coming
was
with.
definitely it would still like take out a chicken if they bit it out of defense, but chickens would have pecked and stomped it to death.
Yeah, all I can imagine now is just like a meme image of like looking up Like for a worm's eye view of a bunch of chickens looking down at you, you came to the wrong neighborhood.
So you start heading over. Oh, are we getting close to pumpkin time for people?
I think so. Pretty close.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, this is getting good.
Yeah.
So you walk over there, step into the yard. The chickens, scatter a bit at your approach. They're skittish.
Yeah, I got some like gloves on, like just in case, like gloves for like
Yeah.
no, it tried to bite me. I have protection
Yeah,
on,
you've got the big, snake handling gloves that go partially up your arm so they don't hit your forearm and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got one of the
you got your snake wrangling gear.
yeah.
And as you shine the light, the coop door is like partially open, like wasn't latched. Um, and as you get closer, you do hear like shifting. It might be sound like coils slithering.
I don't think it's coil.
Yeah, and as you get closer, how do you approach?
Okay, slow. Turn on the light. Because I have my high-powered flashlight. Try and shine
Okay,
it. See.
as you turn on the light and shine it in, it's a fairly large chicken coop just because of the amount of chickens there are in this yard.
Yeah.
And you realize this person probably like collects and sells eggs at one of the local markets. But as you look in, there's no chickens. There's feathers scattered about. There's actually a lot of feathers as you start looking around and you realize, oh, that is a lot of feathers. It looks like maybe a chicken got plucked, maybe more than one, just by the amount of feathers that are scattered around the floor.
Oh,
But you
great.
don't see like the remains of a chicken.
Oh no.
But then you like look towards the back corner, and there it kind of tucked up, pressed back away from the light, or far from the sunlight. And as your flashlight beam passes over it, there's like a dark mass pressed up against the back corner. And as your light hits it, it's kind of fuzzy
Oh.
with like a weird red sheen, like almost like iridescent sheen. It's only like once the light hits it directly, does it have this almost like red translucence, kind of like like when someone with dark hair is in the sunlight, that kind of way.
Oh.
But
Okay.
as the light hits it, this weird fuzzy mass just begins to surge towards you, sliding across like a massive car, just sliding suddenly, as you are suddenly assaulted with that chemical smell again that you remember. Someone cleaning?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You're suddenly assaulted with this like chemical smell that you recall from the cattle skeleton. I need you to act. What are you gonna do? As this thing surges across the floor in your direction.
Oh god. Is there a door on the chicken coop?
Yeah, you had just stepped inside it.
I'm gonna back up and close the door.
Act under pressure, please.
I'm not amazing at these. Six. No, okay.
Ooh,
9.
That was close.
Yeah.
9.
Wait a-
So, okay. Gives you a worse outcome, a hard choice, or a price to pay.
Oh god.
Let me think a second. Okay. I'm gonna give you a worse outcome.
Oh no.
It's not gonna be too bad, but you slam the door as you leap back and slam the door. problem is the door is chicken wire mesh.
Oh.
So as you do and try to stagger back, this dark mass just doesn't even seem phased by the door as it just surges forward. It seems more like distracted by like going up over the wooden frame of it, but just passes through this chicken wire frame. And it latches onto your foot as you feel this like weight. It seems heavier than it should, and in this panic moment, you're kicking up. Well, I want to be dusty because it actually rained recently. So, but in your panic, you can't really see this because all of a sudden you feel something crawling on your foot or like grabbing your foot and clutching at it, and it just feels like something is trying to pull you back towards the chicken coop.
Fuck.
Maybe you should scream for help.
Yet, but it seems to have gotten pretty secure on your boot.
Can I slip out of my boot?
Sure. Yeah, you slip off your boot, and sure enough, as you stumble back, the chickens are clucking and like scattering about. You look and see the boot pulled up against the coop before dropping as whatever was grabbing it. It's so weird. It's like watching a car, or maybe even like a mass of sand. It's so weird. It's like even in the sunlight, it's just hard to place it because it's just like fuzzy and indistinct as it just slides back into the darkness of the coop. And what do you do next? As you like kind of fell back, your boot now just kind of there, and as you look at it, it was torn up. It looked like if you hadn't like pulled away, whatever it was would have like shredded your boot and gotten at your foot.
Hey, in the house.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like I could catch something with? Preferably like glass.
Your animal control.
Oh, this was fairly big. You're not sure if like a jar would be able to capture this.
How big?
Big enough that as it searched forward, you saw that there were the remains of what looked to be like at least 3 chickens worth of bones piled up.
Ha! Okay. And the grate did nothing to stop it.
Yeah, it's goo.
Yeah. Okay.
Or is it in a pocket dimension? You're not ready for this, they say, but your kids are gonna love it. God.
God damn it. Son of a bitch.
So
didn't want to derail that joke, but it couldn't die.
Olivia.
God, let me think. Okay, oh god.
You can read a bad situation if you want.
Yes, please.
Or trust your gut.
Well, yeah,
that's never betrayed you.
I'm awful at weird roll.
But it's experience.
That is true. That would give me a level up.
Up to you. Read a bad situation or trust your gut.
What does trust your gut do specifically? Okay.
I pinged you.
Yeah, I got it. I was scrolled up to it. You go, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna risk it because drama. Haha! Fuck!
On a miss, your instincts lead you into danger.
Okay, what would your instinct be in this situation?
Honestly, like try and get something that doesn't have holes in it to like scoop it up in.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is like a little farming area. So there would be kind of a large, like bucket, like a large metal bucket that you would probably be able to like you figure you'd be able to scoop this up and then like trap it underneath it with enough weight.
Oh no. Yeah. Do you have the number? You can call the number. Call the number you called before to get me here. Tell them to send someone else. Like not more than just me. 'Cause
Oh, I thought you were giving up. Okay,
no, I'm
hold
not
on.
giving up, but I might need a hand.
Sounds like
She'll grab
like.
the tarp.
And they close the window again and go back inside.
Okay, she'll grab the tarp and the bucket, get a little closer, and like peek inside without the flashlight, see if she can't, see where it is.
Yeah, in the darkness, because it is like fairly, it's morning. There's still some clouds, but it's not enough to like really hamper the daylight.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see now that you know to look for it. There is like, if you didn't know you were looking for it, you'd probably think it was just like a different colored bit of the wood or like stain, chicken droppings or whatever.
Yeah.
But you see the patch, this mass that's pressed itself back up in the corner. It seemed to not appreciate the sunlight.
Okay.
It didn't start like sizzling like this
seem
was
to like
a
light
vampire
in
ooze or
general.
something.
What?
I was joking, going. It didn't start sizzling like it was a vampire ooze or something.
Man, it didn't seem to like my my high powered flashlight either.
Yeah. So you're gonna try to use the flashlight to herd it into the bucket?
Yes.
Okay. With that 6 in mind, that's trusting your gut.
Yep.
So, let me scroll back to see what that says again. Lead you into danger. Okay. So, you open up do you retrieve your boot? It's not like damaged to the point of misuse, but you're going to need to get a new pair.
So, but it's got some protection still.
Yeah, at least you're not, walking around in one sock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll put that back
It's
on.
It's not like this was gravel. It's a chicken yard, so it's just mostly dirt because they eat all the grass.
Yeah, I'll stick that back on. So like I'll have the bucket like on its side, put the flashlight like in front of the bucket.
Yeah, so you go in, and at first, as you keep your distance and start shining the light at it, you start approaching it gently from the side, like you're prodding it with the beam of light, and it shifts away from it, but it doesn't seem to react like aggressively until you shine it directly on it. And the weird way, even with the flashlight going, it's still this thing seems to absorb the light in a weird way, or it just looks fuzzy, like almost like it has as if it's a giant pile of mold. Almost, if you had in a weird way, it's just the silhouette's weird. But as you use the flashlight to urge it,
Come on.
It does start creeping along the edge, and you see the chicken bones, and you realize that's probably where the feathers came from.
Yeah, she's keeping her distance, but.
And as you scoot it along, it does go as you put the bucket against the where the corner is against the wall on the floor, as you're urging it there, and at first it seems to be going well as it surges in, and then as you think most of it's in there, you try to flip it over onto it.
Yeah.
And as you do that, you realize you didn't get all of it as you slam it shut and are leaning on it, hoping to get your body weight, as there is a lot inside this thing as it starts rattling around, even though it's like a large bucket. It starts rattling around. It's not enough to dislodge you at first. But then, as you did that, you kind of dropped your flashlight as it rolls around. And then as you look down, as you see, you kind of cut off a portion of this. And as the light rolls and it kind of shines at it, you look down, and as you realize why it looks so fuzzy, as it begins to scatter. As you look down, as you see ants, just hundreds or dozens of larger than normal ants.
What?
As this ant blob just starts to scatter and surge up towards you. And that's where we're going to leave off.
Fuck!
Jesus.
You really were set on those ants, weren't you?
I've had these ants planned since before the campaign started.
Ants.
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 Well, once you enter the hive, you'll never get out alive.
Well, now the
Oh
ants
boy,
are in
oh boy,
Olivia's pants.
I put myself in danger.
It's fine.